So what got you into being, a clarity and performance strategist and certified breath coach? Like what led up to this?
My own personal story with just dealing with being burnt out, to be honest with
Okay.
you.
Hmm.
I want to say it was practically a decade ago now, but all at once, I was a new mom. I was newly married. I had a full time job. I had a business, and my full time job was about 2 hours away from my house. So, what I tell people is if you've never driven that far for work,
Yeah.
don't do it. Just
Yeah, that's a
don't.
long time.
Awful, right? So,
Yeah.
that's a lot to manage at once. On top of all of that, from earlier than that time period, I already had trouble sleeping. I know a lot of people
Okay.
struggle with sleep, and I was
Hmm.
one of those people. It used to take me an hour or 2 sometimes to get to sleep, and then
Hmm.
even when I fell asleep, I would still wake up. So I was stressed, I was working, I was exhausted. It was a lot to happen at once. Nothing changed until I started taking better care of myself. And one of the things that I used to do was I used to go for walks during the day at work. And that helped a lot because I did that disconnection that we were just
Yeah.
talking about, right? Getting some time
Right.
away from the screen, leave the phone in the office. The evenings, I would meditate. And it didn't start off as meditation. It actually started off as just stretching because I noticed that when I was going to sleep, how you're like tossing and turning when you can't get to sleep. I felt like my body couldn't just be still. So I started stretching to see if that helped. And then eventually the stretching turned into I'm breathing deeply. And then that eventually turned into, okay, I did that. Now I'm sitting on the floor and I'm just being quiet.
Hmm.
Right. So it wasn't my initial plan to start meditating or to regulate my nervous system.
Hmm.
But eventually, after I started studying, I realized, oh, that's what I was doing. I was
Okay.
regulating my nervous system. I was coming out of fight or flight mode and giving my body a chance to relax.
All right. Okay. All right. And so once you start like realizing that and kind of got that aha moment, what led up to you like actually doing this as a business? Is it like you or you just stumble like on the people like, oh, you should do this. Everybody have an origin story about how they started business. So I like to talk about us entrepreneurs, how we got started. So is there somebody like, oh, you should do this, or you fell into it, it just happened to be a mistake, or however?
No. Well, no one was asking me, but
Okay.
I always liked writing, right? And
Okay.
I was already writing, and eventually I started making meditation videos because I wanted to help other people get that same level of relaxation. And then we moved out of state, and I wanted to meet more people, but it was like very close to like that very end period when we were just coming off of COVID. So we
Hmm.
couldn't really go anywhere. So we just had to do like virtual meetings. And I honestly just wanted to talk. Like I wanted to exchange ideas with other people because we learn faster when we learn from each other, right? If I make a mistake and then I share it with you, you can go, oh, okay, so do it this way, right? That's what I was looking for. But what I found was people were coming to the call and they were going like this. They were
Okay.
waiting for me to tell them stuff. So
Okay.
eventually I switched it from just a group conversation to, okay, I'm going to do a presentation.
Okay.
And it kind of snowballed from there, went from the presentation to writing to
Okay.
workshops.
Okay. Okay, cool. And yeah, sometimes, like I said, it just stumbles, like that or whatever. You just never know how it ends up, and everything like that. Okay, cool.